Welcome to the hyperspace vault. May the 4th be with you. You guessed it, it's that time of year again. Star Wars Day, which is May 4th. And this is 2018 May 4th, so that means it's the 41st anniversary of Star Wars today.
Well, actually, it'd be later this month when Star Wars came out on, I believe, May 25th. But today is Happy Star Wars Day. And today we're going to bring you a special video. We're going to take a look at our favorite Black Series figures that we have collected so far. Now, we haven't really been collecting Black Series figures very long. We just started basically last year when the 40th anniversary series came out. So we don't have a lot of the older figures, the early in the series, and that's about all we've got. So I mean, we've got more than what we've got here, but we don't have like the whole series or anything. We're nowhere close to that. So we're going to go look at our favorite ones, and we've got them lined up here. And I'm going to start out with the Shore Trooper from Rogue One. I just love the details on this figure and the way it's painted. I actually like this figure a lot better than the Death Trooper. And I just love the colors and everything, and the wear and the dirt that they put on the figure. It looks really good. So we're just going to do little brief reviews on each one of these because we don't want to have the video going on too long. So we're just going to give you a close-up. You can see the details. I'm sure a lot of people have already gotten this figure since it's been out a while. Okay, Alex, which one are you going to pick next?
So, one of my favorites is the 40th anniversary Chewbacca. Now, as you can see here, he has this realism, this really big realism in fur, of course. And he has a belt buckle going around his chest. I don't really need to say much about this Chewbacca figure since most of you have already seen our 40th anniversary review. But I choose this Chewbacca as one of my favorite figures because he is mostly taller than all the other figures. He's taller than Darth Vader, and you know how tall David Prowse is. And so he just has this really big realism with his fur. I just think that's a really cool thing. And how his mouth is open, how he's like roaring.
Yeah, I love how they layered his fur on him, and then his bandolier here is movable, and it's got a satchel, and of course the iconic bowcaster is really done well. So Chewbacca is really cool, and plus he's like in scale, so he's like super tall compared to the other figures. Okay, next I'm going to go with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
40th anniversary.
Yeah, he was 40th anniversary release, and I love the way that they mixed his. They've got his cloak is in soft goods, and then his undergarments are plastic. And I just kind of like the mix of soft goods and the molded plastic is really good on him. And plus, they did an excellent job on his face sculpt. Let me get in here close. And the likeness to gosh, can't think of his name. Sir Alec Guinness. The likeness to him is really good, and it makes me wonder how they did such a good job on this figure, but then totally dropped the ball on some of the other figures like Leia and Han Solo. I mean, everything is just almost perfect, and this is before they did the digital scan, so this was done by hand, and it just makes me wonder. But I love the use of soft goods. The cloak is perfect, fits him really good. He's got his hood. You can place it up like that, and then, or you can pull it down.
But remember from our review on Luke's land speeder, the only thing we said, the only thing we don't like about his plastic undergarments is that he can barely fit in the speeder.
Yeah, they do hinder movement and posability a little bit, but overall, it's still pretty good. I'm gonna slide him right there.
So next, for my favorite figures, I have Captain Rex here. And the reason why I picked Captain Rex for one of my favorite figures is because he's just blown me away. I mean, and plus the fact that me and Dave found him so early at a GameStop. I mean, it just blows me away. And, like, thinking that Hasbro would do this, but I think this is cool that you can remove his helmet here, and then you could put it back on. But I think the thing that I would really like about this figure is that if it was attachable heads, because when you pop off the helmet, it scratches off the paint a little. That's an issue I've heard about it. So if it was just pop off heads, it would be a little more better than what it is right now. But I still think it's pretty cool that his helmet comes off.
Okay, next up, I'm going to go with Admiral Thrawn. This is one of my top favorite figures. I just love the sculpt of this. I mean, it's all plastic. But there's no soft goods on his uniform or anything. But just the way it has these wrinkles molded into it, it just really looks realistic. And I just love the character of Thrawn. If you haven't read the Thrawn novel, I highly recommend it, or even the audiobook version, because they use the guy that did the voice for Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels. He does the voice in the audiobook, which really adds another dimension to the story. And I just love the details of this white uniform. They did a really good job on his chest plate, or his admiral plate, or his Grand Admiral plate.
So speaking of
and the blue
uniform,
and the red eyes.
When we saw this online, when we were looking at pictures of him before we bought the figure, it looks so real. Like, I kept on asking Dave if this was soft goods, and I just wanted to know because it looked like soft goods in the pictures. But if you don't have this figure, it is not soft goods. You could tell by how Dave was holding it in his hand. So, if you were just wondering.
Okay, next up, Alex.
So, this figure is probably one of my, what do they say? One of my least, but it's one of my least favorite figures, but I still really, really like it. Like, I love this figure very much, but I mean, it just, in some way, it just disappoints me. It has this thing on it that, maybe it's the hair, it's all the same color. But I mean, his face just looks exactly like Mark Hamill. I mean, I don't think nobody can pull that off but Hasbro. I mean, they've done this so many times, but then there's times that they don't do it. So I actually like this figure because it has soft goods, and it comes with a lightsaber. You can attach and detach the blade. We actually don't have the blade right now, but we'll have it later on in one of our other reviews. So
yeah, after all, it is Luke Skywalker, and we had to include him. Okay, next up, I'm going to go with the Tusken Raider, the sand person. I just love the details on this figure. And again, a nice mix of soft goods and underneath is plastic. So it does limit posability, but the details on this figure, and I just love the soft goods, the material that they used. You can see how it's kind of raggedy looking, and it just flows off this sand person really neat, really cool. And it goes all the way down. And then underneath you have all these really cool details. I mean, just look at the mask. I mean, they knocked this one out of the park on the details. I mean, just look at that. Look how the face is just, and then underneath here we got more. I mean, the details are just excellent on this. Then he comes with a lot of accessories. He comes with his stick here and these two other add-on pieces, and you get the cycler rifle.
So about his coat thing, how it's all rickety, you know, well, if you handle it a lot, it might fall apart and like all unravel. But I think this, if you don't want it to unravel, don't touch it that much. Just keep it on your shelf, keep it on display for your family and friends to see.
Okay, and moving on, Alex, you got one more, I believe.
Yes, and this is my #1 top favorite, and nope, it's not Darth Vader. Nope, it's not the Snowtrooper, but there's one more. Luke Skywalker, Last Jedi. I mean, look at him. He is just like contaminated with detail. I mean, he has his cloak, which is really cool. Every Jedi should come with a cloak. Hasbro, note that. And then this is R2-D2's Luke's lightsaber, but I just put it in there. And then so here's the figure itself. I like it looks exactly like Mark Hamill now. I mean, even the eyebrows and like the beard and everything, and like how his hair was a little long, and like his hand is like, how can they pull that off? I mean, like I said, only Hasbro can pull stuff off like this. Oh yeah, and I just thought of one more thing that can pull off something probably a little bit better. Slideshow collectibles. Yes, that's right. Slideshow.
Okay, last but not least, definitely, this is my top favorite, of course, is Darth Vader. And, I mean, after all, it's Darth Vader. I mean, this is the 40th anniversary figure, and I just love the way, I mean, the cape, they got the cape perfect on it. It just flows off Vader. And then you have the inner soft goods in here too, and they go all the way up, and they're up over his chest plate like in A New Hope. I just love the details on this. I mean, we almost had to go with Darth Vader just because it's Darth Vader. So, and his lightsaber is really done well, and I just like everything about this figure. It is the centerpiece of the collection. So that wraps up our favorite figures. I hope everybody out there had a wonderful May 4th Star Wars Day. Hopefully you got a chance to sit down and maybe watch some of the movies or do something, you know, Star Wars related. Be sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more. We'll have more reviews coming up soon. And
So before we end the video, I want to give a big shout out to Rogue One. We've seen your May 4th video, so may the 4th be with you too. So yeah, please like and subscribe, comment, and push the notifications bell so you get notification whenever we post a new video. So we'll see you next time, and may the 4th be with you always.